Hello guys! So it's been a while since I uploaded anything significant on the channel. Yeah! So here's an update on what's been happening the past few months. And we'll be talking about the last months of 2016 as well. What I'm going to be doing. Let's try to make this a accelerated episode or accelerated update video because I want to get back to making videos for you guys. Let's get to it. So first of all, this is going to be the first video that's available, audio, that's available on the SoundCloud. All the update videos in the future will be on SoundCloud. You'll find the link below in the description or on the channel page. But basically, any content that's suited for audio only will be on there, mostly including the update video. I can't think of anything else. But also, if you follow on SoundCloud, you'll get 2-minute previews or less of upcoming videos as soon as they're recorded. So, if a video takes a few days to edit, like Spyro Hero's Tale, we'll have a update video or preview on SoundCloud for you to listen to. Just kind of a bonus, honestly. It doesn't really take that long to prepare. So that's just another social media platform I'm using since I really don't like Google Plus that much. So let's get into what happened the last 2 months and to a little bit of an extension from that, November, because so far I haven't really done anything in November. I'm happy to say that to this date we have all the archived live streams that I've done throughout the channel's history on the channel uploaded in a playlist. Actually, it's all on a playlist to find on the channel. That includes the 2 marathon live streams I did of Jak 2 and Jak 1. Yeah, those are up there. So let's start with September, which should have been month of the animated. But I ran into some computer issues with the emulator that we would use for most of the PlayStation 1 games. I think they were mostly... we would have had some PlayStation 2 games as well. But didn't even get that far. We would have taken a look at some more obscure licensed video games from Disney as well. However, as you could probably tell by now, none of that happened in September because of those technical difficulties I mentioned. It comes down to a controller issue, which somehow the controller plugin wrapper, it's called X-Input wrapper. That's the libraries that Windows uses. It's part of DirectX sort of thing. And DirectX basically allows you to use PlayStation 3 controllers with your computer. Plug it in, install this wrapper, as it's called. I think you use the controller for any game, including PlayStation 1 emulators. But it didn't. It for some reason the version of the wrapper developed by Nefarious affected Fraps for some reason. I can't figure out if it was actually his plugin or the controller plugin, LittlePad as it's called, for the emulator. But for some reason, some probably hotkey reason or something, I don't know, Fraps wouldn't record with that version. And I didn't know that at the first time when I encountered the issue, so what we went on to was reinstalling Windows out of all things, and it still didn't fix. So I came to the conclusion that was that for some reason. And then I switched to the older version of the wrapper, which works perfectly fine. Developers done with it pretty much. I don't think they can improve on it much. But the big thing about the Nefarious's controller wrapper, the X-Input wrapper, was he had a better interface for things, I suppose, for installing. But I'm not even going to touch it anymore because of the time it wasted for me.
Feel like a new sponge.
So by the time I finished up fixing that issue, it was already September 18th. And then I got to work on recording one of the games. One of the games was recorded for MotA Animated. We ended up recording this game. You'll see on screen some footage of it. It's Peter Pan Return to Neverland. In Return to Neverland, based off the Peter Pan sequel. Yeah. It does look funny with the CGI cutscenes, but it actually is pretty creative, I think, for... In general, I think what they did with it was pretty decent, actually, because it features a lot of backtracking. Well, not backtracking. That's usually a negative connotation, but it features non-linear gameplay where at a certain point in the game you unlock an ability, then you go back through older levels to figure out where to go next. So it's kind of intertwining level gameplay, and I like that. It also features hidden areas akin to Donkey Kong Country, I believe, where there's like secret passageways that you can find if you go behind some scenery in the foreground. I thought that was pretty neat, but it is a very easy game. I encountered no difficulty with the game itself, honestly. The only difficulties I've encountered through September was technical difficulties, for lack of a better term, because part of the half was actually figuring out what the problem was with fraps, but the other half was tuning the emulator itself to look better. And I discovered this year, 2016, someone came out with a modification for the PCSXR emulator called PGXP, which is basically an enhancement that makes the polygons in PlayStation 1 games not wobble as much, and it also corrects textures to perspective, sort of thing. It's basically a shortening for something. I would explain to you what it is. Parallel graphics, something precision. So, basically, it takes the coordinates that are used to draw the polygons, and it's more precise about it in some manner. High precision values, like floating numbers and stuff. Someone uploaded a video of Croc, Legend of the Gobbos, and it looks really good with that enhancement. You have the polygons and stuff are straighter, and they don't wobble as much. Everything looks so clean, I suppose, when you upscale it. Too bad I'd already finished Croc 1, but maybe Croc 2 would look just as good, so we'll move on to that. Also, the GPU plugin I can use, I could use, it's the Tweaks GPU plugin for PlayStation 1 emulator if you're using it. If you know about emulation in PS1, you probably know it. It basically allows you to set the resolutions higher than you can set in the emulator itself through the settings. Up to now, I haven't really... The upscaled resolution hasn't reflected the actual video resolution I've had, like 1080p. Whether it looks better or not, it's up to you guys. I don't know. There's still PS1 games. They're not going to look outstanding, but just another enhancement I worked on. Okay, so that was September. Didn't really get a whole lot done. I do want to express that I was intending to cut down the month in half after dealing with 2014 and 2015. It did get a little hectic after editing all those Rugrat videos and Shrek videos. Those are extreme. Those are big projects. So this year I thought I'd cut it down in half. But instead of half, you got nothing. Sorry. October was another month where I tried to work on something, but to no avail. I nothing came out of it. But I didn't have any issues with it. It was just a simple project. So you'll see in the background in the video that I put up, it's actually Tony Hawk. I was working on starting Let's Plays of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and Tony Hawk's Project 8. I didn't even touch Project 8, but I ordered the game a few months back, so I have it now. I could play it. I was intending on doing Pro Skater 4, but then I decided that I'd start with where I originally started with the series, which was the PS1 version of Pro Skater 3. I would have done the PS2 version, though. Pro Skater 3 instead, because it's better. And then I would have ended with Project 8, which is the last standing game in the entire series that I have not experienced for long enough. I haven't given it enough time, and I only played the PS2 version of that, so I never got the full experience. But with Pro Skater 4 and Pro Skater 3, majorly with Pro Skater 3, I was going to play the PS2 version. I was going to emulate it. I was going to have true widescreen support, 16:9, upscaling, all that stuff. It looked amazing, especially with shaders. There was an issue with Pro Skater 3, though, in that the textures just flickered like crap, and I did not like it. So I was just like, okay, we need to just not play that version, and then with the PC version. One I didn't grow up with, but I figured out how to work with the controller, and it worked pretty well. From there, I discovered that you could mod Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and I came up with the wide-eyed idea to actually mod it myself. So I started a project to just mod the game and add stuff to it, and add new features and stuff. And it took all month, basically. So when November approached, I was just like, okay, let's not do this anymore. Let's get back to making videos. And I put it on the back burner so I can come back to it. I'll work on that over the year or so. And you guys will eventually get an LP of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, though, and Project 8 next time I decide to do that. It won't be this year. It might be next year. I don't know. Oh, shout out to Crystal Fissure, too, because I've heard he's doing a Pro Skater 4 Let's Play. I know I won't be playing that until who knows when. I do want to play it eventually, but we're going to go in order, so to speak. Start with Pro Skater 3. I think that's where we should start, honestly. But I just didn't want to compete with Crystal Fissure. He has not played the game yet, so I'm interested to see how he plays it. What he thinks about it. I think, personally, Pro Skater 4 is my favorite game out of the series. Of course, the soundtrack in all of the games are great. I mean, now I've played Pro Skater 3, maybe its soundtrack is a little lacking here and there, but Pro Skater 4 is probably... It's hard, soundtrack-wise, I don't really know. They're all great. Okay, so for September and October and November, personal stuff's been happening, real-life stuff, and I was just watching a lot of movies, particularly in September. That's part of Month Animated, I feel, is just sitting down to watch the movies to get more familiar with them, I guess, too. Last year I watched Rugrats. I watched Rugrats in Paris and Rugrats the movie. They're childhood favorites, and I still think they hold up today. I like them. They're great Rugrats movies, I think. So nostalgic, too. Also watched Lilo and Stitch again, another good nostalgic movie, and just so good. Hercules, I already mentioned I was going to play that for Month Animated. And Hercules really isn't a childhood film. It's one of the big ones that stand out as not really one of my favorites, but I didn't grow up with it, is what I mean to say, but I like it quite a bit. Hades particularly, like, hilarious. Great voice actor, you know. Funny film. And you got Phil Cedes. The characters in that movie are pretty good. Tarzan, I watched Tarzan again. Another favorite. Including Tarzan and Jane, which is the spin-off film from the TV series, which doesn't hold up. I don't know why I liked it as a kid, but somehow I watched it every day. And I also watched a bunch of Winnie the Pooh movies. I watched the original Winnie the Pooh from who knows when, 1950 probably. Piglet's Big Movie, another game I was going to check out. Someone mentioned it to me years ago, and I want to check out Piglet's Big Game as well. Somehow it's a good game, evidently. I'll check it out next year, by the way. I want to play that. I've always wanted to play it since the first year MotA Animated. I just haven't got around to it. I also watched the Heffalump movie. And in comparison, honestly, the original is probably the best. Of the Heffalump movie would go second, in my opinion, and Piglet's Big Movie is the third one. Piglet's Big Movie has the same problem that Tarzan and Jane had. It's a good movie, but Tarzan and Jane basically was random cuts, like episodes, cut up to make it seem like a big story. That's what Piglet's Big Movie did, too. Just a bunch of stories about how Piglet really is important when he's so short and insignificant. Heffalump movie was much better, I think, in terms of creativity, I think. Discovering what was outside the 100-acre wood. I think that's a great movie, in terms of Winnie the Pooh, at least. I really like Lumpy as a character. His voice actor, the British accent he has, it's cute. That's all I'm gonna say. But then I also watched Fantasia 2000 for the first time, both of those. Great movies. 2000 is obviously better, and then you'll also have the Apprentice, the Magician's Apprentice. I've seen that for the first time ever. Two more movies I watched recently. The Emperor's New Groove, I watched that again. Fantastic, one of my favorite Disney movies. And I also watched the Ratchet Clank movie, which was pretty good. In terms of licensed movies, I think it's up there, for sure. It's not as good as the game. The game, amazing. Just amazing. Honestly, the game and the movie kind of trade blows in the fact that the game has some things the movie doesn't have. Obviously, the interactive part, but there's just more characters in general. I mean, where was Big Al in the movie? You don't have Big Al in the movie? That should have been a thing. Although there was a few characters I was amazed that showed up. You had a mention of the president, the galactic president of Solana Galaxy. Dallas, Juanita, that's all the movies I watched this year, basically, in terms of MotA Animated. And then I want to watch Zootopia, which is on Netflix now. Awesome. Finding Dory, I'll have to rent that. And Kubo and the Two Strings, because it looks like a good fantasy movie. Not sure about Finding Dory, though. I love Finding Nemo, so if it's anything like that. Yeah, I've been watching a lot more movies than usual. Finally, in personal notes, I've got a new smartphone now. I've had the same phone for 4 years now, and it was so slow. Honestly, very infuriating. But the Nexus 6P now, on the other hand, is such a good phone. I'm happy with it. Let's get on to current series, which will be the accelerated part of this update video, because we can just go down it like that. Ratchet Clank Future Quest for Booty started that in October. That game will be finished next time I play it. It's really short. We'll just power through it. And I will be showing where all the weapon mods are at in that game. It's a big part of why I wanted to do it. Someone mentioned that no one actually has done a good Let's Play of it, I guess, on YouTube. I'm sure there's someone out there. Typical Nature, though, I haven't done anything with that since October. That's because of what I was doing with Tony Hawk, I guess. Spyro Hero's Tale, the guide and the Let's Play. The last thing we did on that was Coastal Remains, right? For last year, basically, I've wanted to take a month and just do a Hero's Tale and do a lot with that. November's about gone, so good luck with that. I guess November and the next part of December will be doing that. I really want to do Hero's Tale. I want to work on that again. It does take a lot of work, but it is fun to work on. So, Croc 1 playthrough. We finished that already. There's a few more bonus videos I have to work on, but we'll work on that. And then Croc 2 will start up next month, December. Perfect for when we get to the Cossack village, eh? The A came out. I did not mention to say that. It's Russian, not Canadian. Bugs Bunny and Taz, Time Busters. This game, man. I just can't finish it or get anywhere. It's probably the slowest series I've done. But we'll work on that. We'll finish it next year. Probably not yet. Side mention for monthly animated showdown, the animated showdown. You guys can vote on that now. We're on round 2. My cat's doing something weird. Finally, we started a new series. It's August. LittleBigPlanet Karting videos. Just showing off community levels and catching back up with that game before the servers should have went down. They didn't go down, by the way. They're still up. So we're posting videos of community levels. Really good community levels. Good level design, honestly. I love the Crash Team Racing levels. There's tons more to go, guys. So if you love LittleBigPlanet, you can see those. I'm actually pretty happy with LittleBigPlanet in general. The gameplay feels very... the racing physics, I suppose. Really good. And I know this will be the last time I have to say anything about LittleBigPlanet Karting before it goes into the crypt of sorts. Okay, Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves, live streams. I already did 2 live streams last week. We'll start another live stream up after Thanksgiving. And now it's time for the Vin-Nintendo update. We have one Let's Play on that, Zelda Twilight Princess. Like I said, in typical fashion, I have not done anything with that. But I need to play Twilight Princess some more in order to move on to the rest of the Zelda games. But good news, folks. I have a new series starting up soon on the Nintendo channel before the end of the year, I suppose. We have a new variety series, basically. A variety of Nintendo games. And then next year we'll start Super Mario Galaxy. So that's good. Another Let's Play to do. And then, yeah, just subscribe to that if you want new content. If you haven't even heard of the channel lately, it exists. It's there. That's all I have to talk about. Honestly, that's it. So to recap, I'm on SoundCloud now. You could follow me on there for more social happenings, I suppose. I do follow Josh Mansell of Crash Bandicoot music popularity. In September, October, we had monthly animated that didn't happen. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater that didn't happen in October. We'll probably do that next year. And then I watched a bunch of movies: Lilo and Stitch, Hercules, Tarzan, Winnie the Pooh, Fantasia, Emperor's New Groove. Wow, these Tony Hawk music I'm listening to back to back. Emperor's New Groove, Ratchet Clank movie. I'm gonna watch Zootopia and stuff. Inconsequential to you guys, but I suppose I'll have to watch more movies next year. I just mentioned the current series we're doing. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good enough. I mean, it should have been shorter, but whatever. Thanks for watching. See you guys. I'm going to go check on the live stream archives that are uploading. Finish that up, and then we can move on to Bugs Bunny and Taz, maybe?